were, Pamela, in the next studio, enjoying the show, and now you're in the Cilla studio, in the Surprise studios. Yeah. And I must tell you all about a letter I got from your dear cousin June. She wrote a very emotional letter, I have to say. Tell me all about you. Now, Pamela, I want to take you back to, well, just over 30 years ago. You were unmarried, you were pregnant. Indeed, you had a lovely baby boy. But you knew, because of the circumstances in the family, in fact, you were actually forced to put this little baby up for adoption. Now, you did christen the baby. In fact, you christened him Raymond. But then he was adopted by two lovely people, and they renamed him Peter. And then they all emigrated to Australia. Is that right?
That's right.
But you'd never, ever forgotten them all over the years, all through the years. But in fact, you actually did marry the baby's father, didn't you?
Yes.
And then you went on to have another daughter.
Yes, Marion.
You're Marion. But as the years went by, you wanted desperately to get in touch with Peter. But obviously, you know, you're not allowed, through the adoptive laws, mums are not allowed. It's against the law to get in touch with their relatives. And unbeknownst to you, when Peter was about 18, his adoptive parents did tell him that he was, in fact, adopted. And he tried to set out to find you. But he didn't have any success, did he, Pamela?
No.
Well, your Peter thought he'd try just one more time. And he managed to get hold of your marriage certificate, found out your name's Stott, and found out you came from Newcastle. And your Peter, God bless him, rang every phone number in the Newcastle book.
Yes, I know he told us on the phone.
And in fact, it was your number that was the very last call he made. I don't think you can describe what that phone call was like. What did you do?
Just shock.
Just shock.
I'm still in shock.
And total happiness.
Oh, yes.
Well, I know since then you have written to him.
Yes.
And indeed you've spoken on the phone many times.
Photos of each other, you know.
And you've actually got photos.
It's lovely.
I bet you can't wait for the day that you'll meet him.
Cannot.
Well, I have to say, Pamela, the waiting's all over, Chuck. He's not in Australia. You haven't seen your baby since he was 6 weeks old. He's right here now. Yes, come in, Peter. Say hello to your mum, all the way from Australia. Isn't he gorgeous? If I can prize you away just for a minute, because you know you do have a natural sister, Marion.
Yeah, I just found out, about a month ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, we did tell you that Marion couldn't be here tonight, but she finally did make it. Your sister Marion is here. Come in, Marion, say hello to your brother, Peter. There is more. Oh, Pamela, you haven't met your daughter-in-law. And there are 2 grandchildren you didn't even know existed. They're all here from Australia. Come in, Sue, and your grandchildren, Alicia and Luke. Bring them all on. There they are. Look at that. Reaching out, holding hands, reliving memories as we smile through the years. The tears, the fears disappear. Life is full of surprises. It's surprising how dreams come true. Life is full of surprises, and the nicest surprise in my life is you. Well, sadly, that's all we have time for this week, and indeed for the series. I'd like to thank everybody who's taken part in tonight's show. Tracy Dawson, Gay Search, Christopher Biggins and his pantomime troupe, Sherry Houston, Linda Bellingham and Craig McLaughlin. Until we meet again next year, ta-ra then.